We're so back, baby. So it starts with Mark getting stepped on by Alan's ooga booga looking cousin. He painted his toenails white, so I'm sure some of y'all will appreciate that. Mark whacks him with a crisp right hand, but gets grabbed and smashed with a mini mountain. He decides to lock in and uppercuts into the clouds. Turns out this is just a training spar set by Cecil. It reminds me of the technical spars I used to have in boxing. My coach would say light touching and I'd get hit with some absolute bullshit like this. Joe Rogan must have put Invincible on that sauna life hack. We basically get a montage of him training, traveling to the moon and back, lifting icebergs, bench pressing Lizzo, you know, something light. Right now we're about 3 months since Mommy and Nissa whooped Delta ass. They think he's potentially stronger than her right now, but I reckon it's close. He's nowhere near beating this top geezer though. This is me pretending I need my homeboy's help to help me do a one-person job. Cecil allows it, so the two head down to take care of it. The Uso twins stole the Declaration of Independence. Hey man, you're getting paid minimum wage. You do not need to be doing all that. He's going to spend all that retirement money fixing his lower back now. Rex and Invincible arrive and the ranked duo match begins. Purple comes in with some Stephen Thompson kicks. We can already tell these guys are some fodder. Rex asks the question we've all been thinking. When are you going to get with Eve? I can't believe they wasted this song on bum-ass Amber. This should not be a difficult pick. We're not in the quintessential quintuplets. The choice was clear from the beginning.
Yes or no? I mean, what are you asking me? Are they gonna match? What else could I be asking? What the fuck would I be asking you?
Alright, wrap it up, buddy. King Henry then comes in and I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume he's Duplicate's brother. They start jumping the hell out of Rex. Duplication would be such a tough ability to have. They're pissed their sister died, but Rex did all he could, to be fair. He got his brain shot and still stomped that lizard down. Yo, mama kinda fine. Instantly goes for the Sub-Zero fatality and begins easily disposing through the clones. Kate and Immortal show up after their 3-month honeymoon. Immortal is 100% the type of guy to be dating a freshman whilst he's in college. Even after all this, Paul doesn't apologize. So Mark domes him and takes him to prison. His teacher asks him for his top 3 Turtle Drama baddies. Making sure Oliver stays cultured, we see him for the first time. And he's grown up quite a bit. The kid's even got his powers already. They done made me gay. Finally growing balls, Mark attempts to ask Eve out, but mentions the alternate Eve being the reason why. I genuinely had to pause it for a bit, just because of the secondhand embarrassment I got. Anyways, remember that earthquake guy? He breaks out of prison and kidnaps every superhero in the country. Didn't even let Rex put on his clothes. The only two not taken are Mark and Eve, so they travel down to try to save everyone. It is a bit pathetic how all of them got captured so easily. Dr. Seismic must have struck a deal with Dr. Animo from Ben 10. He summons a bunch of these enlarged animals and creatures looking like something from the Dark Continent. Invincible and Eve try to fight the creatures, but obviously they're outmatched. Their durability is insane. Eve dodges the Guna webs but gets clapped by Dr. Seismic. At this moment I thought Invincible was finally going to live up to his name, but he gets stabbed by a poison fang. Vision blurry, yeah, GG, it's over. All that training just to stay invincible. That's when this shady motherfucker Cecil decides to use his underground experiments. Darkwing comes out. I swear this guy was evil, killing everyone. A bunch of those corpse robots from the previous season spawn in. They free the captured heroes. These heroes remind me of those shitty soups from The Boys. Rex with his balls out throws his balls. Together the corpse robots and heroes overwhelm the creatures, and Darkwing takes Seismic inside his domain expansion. The side characters cheer woohoo! But Mark comes in and tackles Darkwing. He calls him a murderer, but Buddy needs to get off his high horse. Don't think we forgot about what you did, just like Papa taught you. Invincible zips off to Cecil, and I gotta be honest, Cecil is spitting. He knows they clearly need the extra help when their strongest fighter loses every other fight. Cecil tells Mark to fuck off, but he says nah, and wants these guys locked up. He makes the mistake of walking into Cecil's domain expansion, where he's surrounded by robots. We cut to Alan and Omni-Man chopping it up. They're slowly becoming friends. Alan's still trying to convince him to break out and join their side, but Nolan's in his sad boy era. Me personally, I would have opened up with Johnny Walker. Why? Because I studied, bro. The Viltrumites charge a fat ass laser into Alan, but he just tanks it. I'm glad Alan got this massive Zenkai boost. He deserves it after all what happened to him. Hopefully Mark gets the same. Episode 1 ends here, but guess what? We got given another one. So it starts with a prime Cecil, kinda looking like Jeremy Fragrance before the coke. Pulls out the blicky on the snow bunny and and heads out into the back. That's when he finds it, the location of where that one girl kept all her farts when she was selling farts in a jar. She bangs Cecil's head into the wall. I know that shit stung. She judo throws him and reveals herself. Yo, she's wearing that Gooner skin from Marvel Rivals. They begin squabbling and hey, Cecil's got it, man. Never mind. He starts getting his shit pieced up. Blood is not Captain America. After getting whooped on, Cecil manages to send 4,000 gigawatts straight to her chesticles. He must really want early access to his fart jars. He gets grabbed by a guy with way too much cake on his frame. The B-Tech Iron Fist hits him with that shit Cheng was hitting Dre with. The police arrive, but these freaks ain't finished. Releasing the gas, it starts to break down their living tissue. Looks nasty. Cecil, please deal with this shit for me. So this is where Cecil got his scar from. I'm glad it was something actually tragic and not a joke like Nick Fury's. He says he could have it removed, but wants to keep it as a reminder because the gas still cause people to die. We get another flashback of Cecil with the old director getting attacked by this behemoth. They get saved by the two from before. It's cool to see where Cecil got his reasoning from, initially acting the same as Mark. They whoop Delta ass and Cecil rewards them by capping both of them. That was very unexpected. We cut to him in prison and they did him dirty. He should have gone to a standard prison, not a supervillain one.
You need to hang up that computer call. Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantic.
Surprisingly, Cecil manages to lock this place down and have it under his control. He spends 3 years in this place till the director comes to visit him. He tells him this wasn't just a punishment, but rehabilitation, and that he wants Cecil to take over as the new director. Alright, Cecil backstory segment over, we're now back in the present. Mark flips out and throws a mean left hook, shattering his jaw. Activating the bot's defense system, they all rush him. Surprisingly, Mark is making light work out of him so far. I thought he'd get his shit rocked. Gripping up intestines, decapitating heads. Invincible is looking too good right now. You know what? Let's trade him. Yo, Mark's gonna get his very own red scene. His dad will be proud if he saw this. He wants Cecil to admit to everyone what he's been doing, but Cecil's standing on business. The Viltrumite in him is finally starting to show, and I, for one, am here for it. He rushes him, but Cecil does something diabolical and plays ASMR getting into an argument with your boyfriend, and you flinch. Whilst Mark was in the hospital, they implanted a chip deep inside of him that would play this specific sound that renders Viltrumites useless. Mark sonic booms out of there, but Cecil turns it back on, causing him to fall down. His reasoning is after what Omni-Man did, he didn't want to take any risks, so that's why he implanted it. Mark should have been like,
"What's that? What's a father?"
But fair enough, I understand both sides. He flies to the Guardians HQ to try to get help, but Cecil's on his ass and has him surrounded, telling them all to stand down. But the Guardians are ready to ride out for their boy and begin fighting the robots. The new guy, I forgot his name, starts dinking them. Rex sees Cecil's holding the switch that's hurting Mark, so he throws his bombs at him, burning Cecil's hand. Ew, that looks nasty. The sound doesn't stop though, and Leangelo's song continues to play. For some reason, the bots ignore everyone else and start beating on Mark. Like, bro is clearly not a threat right now. They just want to get their licks in. Robot blocks the frequency and Invincible goes on a rampage, absolutely decimating all of them. Reminiscent to how Omni-Man killed the Guardians. Cecil starts talking crazy, calling Mark out for being a hypocrite, but he's a bit unhinged right now and grabs Cecil by the neck. The rest watch awkwardly. It's like when you go to a friend's house and their parents start fighting. Invincible tells Cecil he's done, and if he ever comes near him or his family, he'll kill him. Invincible tells Mommy what happened, and Oliver says, let's kill the bastard right now. I already know Oliver is going to do something crazy this season. The Guardians begin arguing about how they're just disposable tools for Cecil. Immortal comes in like some boomer. Oh, back in my day, blah blah blah. Basically, all the interesting characters leave the team. Cecil needs to learn how to actually treat heroes and not just give them a freaking packet, yo. Mark must have taken them Fitex Fearless video calls because he's locked the fuck in. He's spitting whilst looking chopped. Guess what? We got given another one. So Mark starts training Oliver on how to use his powers properly. They fly to Artie's to pick up Oliver's costume. You know, it's alright, nothing special. Oliver doesn't know how big of a menace his dad really was. It's like if these OF girls ever decide to have kids. Good luck, kiddos. We finally get to see Mark in the black and blue suit, and a Boy Wonder fan like me thinks it looks fire. I was never a fan of the yellow and blue. Titan has taken over Machine Head's territory. They say this is a big rich town. Duplicate's brother, the one that jumped jumped Rex is in prison and the organization want Titan to break him out for them. They go in with energy from Ben 10 and Shocker. Mark wants Oliver to observe him fighting, but we all know that ain't happening. Oliver goes in dodging Cole McGrath's electro shots but gets hit with that lightning surprise attack. Invincible comes in with a Yuji special and grabs energy by his shirt, slamming him down and throwing him out of his suit. We cut to Debbie going on a date with that guy from her workplace. Unexpectedly, she drops her entire lore on him about Omni-Man, Mark, Oliver, the entire shebang. Understandably, he's a bit shook. He fishes for compliments and it somehow works. Mark and Oliver go home and find both of them there. He tries to play it off that he went to a comic book convention but realizes his mom already told the guy. It's like when your mom tells the whole family your darkest and deepest secret just for some family clout. The Mauler twins are finally back. I love myself a Mauler twin segment. They break into a US military base looking for some tech, and the new and not improved Guardians arrive on the scene.
And now I say something.
I hope this guy dies, he's just annoying. The Maulers instantly realize the team's downgraded a ton. They blast Cyborg and the other tackles and chucks Immortal. I know that hurts. Matter of fact, fuck Immortal too, I don't like him either. The gun he's holding is able to fry whoever it hits nervous system. I'll always have your back, homie.
Look out!
Darkwing TPs around the room and hits him with that police brutality special. Immortal comes in for round 2 and is doing a lot better this time around. Till he doesn't. I mean, like, no hate to the Mauler brothers, but come on, getting diffed by them like this? My goats would never. Invincible busts in but gets hit and starts tweaking out. Oliver flashes into the scene and breaks for gun, so the two rush him and Oliver headbutts them right in the chest. Big Bro steps in and gets uppercut. When will he live up to his name? Oliver pops that sonic sway and lands a hook. Mark's more focused on arguing with him and fighting the Maulers. He locks in and lands an uppercut of his own. Meanwhile, Oliver is getting skull dribbled till Mark lands a falcon punch to the chest. While distracted, the Maulers manage to launch the missiles. Mark tells Oliver, "Go home, buddy, I work alone," and heads up to intercept the missiles. Oliver goes in and completely shatters his jaw, so very obvious how much Mark is still holding back. He gets grabbed and hit with the Hulk special. Meanwhile, Invincible punches the shit out of a rocket. Looks cool, but I don't think it's the smartest idea. Surely the shrapnel will fall. With that look, I know Oliver is about to do something devious. Yeah, we all saw this coming. The little fiend ain't done yet and hits the other twin with that Johnny Cage fatality. Rip Mauler twins, I'll definitely miss y'all. Immortal conveniently wakes up. I know your ass wasn't KO'd the entire time. The whole team are up and Oliver tries the "I'm just baby, it was accident," but no one is buying it. Cecil TP's in and I know inside he's thinking, well. Mark comes in and instantly grabs Cecil. I know Cecil's going to have a disgusting get back. Mark's been disrespecting him way too much. Oliver's basically moving like Damien and doesn't see the problem with what he did. Invincible tries to explain to him, but obviously a superpowered baby isn't going to listen. Oliver sounds like Atreus when he was tripping out on power. I actually don't think he's going to change at all. We end with Brainiac observing Mark and his family. I thought all the Armstrongs merged into one, so I don't know how Bro is alive. So episode 4 starts and Invincible takes the spy camera to Robot for analysis. He tells him it's too damaged to say for sure who made it, but we already know what kind of timing Mark is on this season. We cut to him in the Pentagon punching the shit out of his corpse robots. Mark's been pushing his luck too much this season. He gets stopped by that high frequency sound again. Cecil shows up and is like, "What the hell are you doing?" He tells Mark he's basically committed treason. Even after all this, I think Cecil is still soft on the boy. Mark accuses him of spying and he tells him if I wanted to, you'd never even know it. Mark leaves to go on a date with Eve, but the Uso twins show up again. They tell him they're from the future and they need help to overthrow their king. Surprisingly, Mark says nah and continues his date. But the Uso twins were like, "Yeah, you're coming regardless," and kidnap him through the portal. The future city he's in looks like a ruined wasteland. Foreshadowing. The Usos explained centuries ago Earth was on the edge of destruction, but one man was chosen to be made ruler of Earth. And he did a good job for a bit till something inside him changed, causing him to go mad. I have a feeling I know exactly who we're talking about, but let's see. They say he got progressively worse and so did their conditions. That's why they created a time machine to see if anything from the past could save them, and that's when they stumbled upon Mark. Mark asks if he's a Viltrumite, but I have a feeling I know exactly who he is. Robots come to intercept. There's been a lot of robots robots for a season. They fake surrender as that's the fastest way of getting to the king. He gets scanned and the bots tell him they've been expecting him. Invincible enters the king's throne room and finally meets him. Immortal. I fucking knew it, man. I could smell him. I know future realities can be different to what will really happen, but it's interesting when you realize the twins had no idea what a Viltrumite even was, and that Immortal said only one person would know him by the name Immortal, that being Mark. So you have to wonder what exactly happened and where the fuck is Mario Judah? Immortal tells him it's been many years since Mark left with his family. Mark tries telling him he's from the past, but the old man isn't listening, telling him he looks thin. This is like when you've been grinding in the gym for over a year and your grandma says you still look skinny. Mark says, let's cut the shit. What the hell have you been doing? Immortal starts crying and says he did it to get his attention and that he shouldn't have been left in charge. He refers to Mark as the Emperor. I've seen some comment panels on TikTok and Emperor Mark looks cold. I can't wait to be 54 and watch it with my grandkids. Immortal's tweaking out. He's definitely gone a bit senile. This is why immortality would not be a good power to have. He's outlived every person he's ever loved. He tells Mark he has to repay his debt and he wants him to kill him. You know what? After all the deserved immortal hate, I do kind of feel sorry for the guy. Mark tells him no and says to him just quit. But when you've dumped hundreds of hours into rank games, in that one shitty game you still play for some reason, one cannot simply just quit. Invincible still says no, so Immortal begins comboing on him. Mark tells him to go fly into the sun or something, but Immortal's a man. Rah! He wants to go out honorably. He swings Mark to the side, but he tries to use his Talk no Jutsu on him. It doesn't work though because Immortal has played these games before. The PlayStation State of Play was buns, by the way. Immortal hits him with a mean combination, but Pussy Clot Mark still says no, I can't. So he grabs Jey Uso, don't make me do it, man. He smacks him like Broly and tries to beat some sense into Mark. Finally, Mark is like okay and turns Immortal into a backbling again. He returns back into the past and tells Eve the whole shebang. She comforts him and I know Amber ain't doing that. They do a little montage of them together, but I recommend muting it and using David's soundtrack.
I love you too.
Hey, look at this clown. I know your single lonely ass ain't smiling right now. Something different happens this time and a narrator starts talking to the audience directly. We cut to Alan the alien and the narrator is glazing him, rightly so. Prison break, prison break, prison break is finally happening. Some Viltrumites go to Nolan's cell rocking some mean mustaches. Omni-Man still has rejected all of Alan's invitations and wants to be sentenced, but Alan ain't about to let that happen. The Viltrumites start whooping on Omni-Man and he just takes it. Alan begins freeing all the captives on the ship to help him out, but they get overwhelmed relatively fast. Alan spots the biggest cell in the ship and frees whatever beast is inside. Lo and behold, it's the main man himself, Battle Beast, and he's on straight murderous intent, asking how many Viltrumites are on board as one would be too easy for him. It's insane for how strong Alan is. I know for a fact Battle Beast would body him. Nolan gets shouted at like my dad trying to help me out with my math homework. Alan and Battle Beast start tearing up the ship. This gotta be the strongest duo we've seen so far. Battle Beast starts getting cranky because it's too easy for him. Gets you wondering what the hell was he doing getting captured. I know this demon only did it in hopes of fighting someone strong. Battle Beast grabs up Alan like he a high school bully, telling him the only worthy opponent I see is you. Alan must smell the aura and is like, hey big fella, hang on a moment. Hearing the pounding they're giving Nolan, they finally find him and drop in like SEAL Team 6. Battle Beast starts orgasming in the moment. He really does love fighting. He's like Ninja Turtle from that dating show. That guy fought everybody. Fight begins. Battle Beast Spartan kicks the first guy, lands a knee into the headbutt. Alan tries freeing Nolan but gets sneak punched. He tries to 1v1 Alan but he easily slips the punches and lands a 3-piece with the soda. Oh, never mind. I guess he really isn't. Omni-Man watches Alan get his shit stomped. But damn, I really thought Alan would be significantly stronger than this. I hope he's pretending. Omni-Man finally wakes up and breaks out of his restraints to knock back the guy. They run the ones and we get a cool choreography of Nolan dodging and weaving. Look, they did the thing. Alan tags in and KOs the guy. Battle Beast and that guy are still boxing, and surprisingly the Viltrumite is holding his own. The fight takes out into space. Battle Beast lands a nasty scratch and Alan gets hit with that Injustice Superman move. They give the Viltrumite some of their own medicine and start jumping him. Alan swings him the same way they swung that Predator these guys caught. Him and Omni-Man end the fight with a brutal duo finisher. Damn! We cut to Battle Skull Beast and the other guy still slugging it out. Alan admits he pretended and let the Viltrumite beat him just to give Nolan the motivation he needed. Omni-Man drops some massive intel on us. Apparently there are only 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left in this universe, so defeating them is very feasible. I'd say this was my favourite episode so far. I'm excited to see what's next. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.